Hello guys, and welcome to a new CSS tutorial which is going to be applied on our GTK widget scale button. We saw until now how complicated became setting CSS on this widget. I already showed you that these kind of problems I informed the GTK team to can get a better fix for it. It was that part where we had to access the scale, this one right here, which belongs to our scale button, and we saw that by just changing the scale it took basically basically changing the other scale which could be found into your application as well. So that being said, we had to find a way to basically get access to only this scale right here and not to the scale itself if you have a GTK scale as well inside your application. Okay, so that being said, as you can see, until now which we changed this button here. We set a color to this button which is red with a border so that we see that it's there, and then we set a green color for hover, and of course we set the background of our scale and its slider as well. Okay, so now it is time to move on with our CSS, and now we can basically change maybe you are asking yourself why and from where I'm coming with these names, because now, for example, the next thing which we are going to change, I'm going to copy this part right here. So the next thing basically which we are change it a little bit creates a little bit confusion if you are not used with this contents, and then we need basically to change it through. So maybe you are asking yourself from where I'm coming from with these names. Well, let me go back a little bit to our documentation. Here's the object array here, and I need a GTK scale. Where are you? Whatever, I don't want to search it now. It should be where the buttons is. Radio check button, whatever. GTK scale. I take the faster way. So GTK scale, and now if I go to its description on the CSS part, you see this is the whole thing which we already talked about it in our GTK scale tutorials, where were unbelievable more than 4 hours. Yes, there were 4 hours for that widget, but anyway, here we have everything we need to know, every information. I'm not going to talk again about these things right here. Just for the newcomers, go back and watch my other videos, GTK scale, and then you will see and you will understand all these things, most of them, and how they are working and so on. We saw there the thing, the GTK range show field level, and the GTK scale set has origin. All those things we already learned. But me, I'm not going to talk now. I'm going to make all those changes, and those changes which I do, basically you will understand them now, or you should already be familiar with them. So basically I'm going to change the color of the scale with blue, and now you will see a nice blue color on the scale. You see it is right here, and it is blue, and the default one which defaults on my system in green, we can change it also as well by basically I'm going to copy this part right here to not type it again. GTK pop-up scale contents through, and we need another one which is the highlight, and now we are going to set red, and now we'll have a nice blue red one. You see? Yes, it looks fine, isn't it? Okay, now you have here red, here you have blue. Next thing which we are going to set up, we are going to see what's the story with the flat. So flat, I'm going to use a background color magenta. I compile it and run it, and of course you see I set it here. Of course you cannot see the difference because I already set up here. I'm going to change it to black. So now we have black, our scale background is black, and now you see this part right here. Basically this is what you are changing with the flat. Let me change the color as well, so it should be yellow, so that the plus and minus has different colors. So basically now you see we change these two buttons right here with magenta and yellow. Of course there is another one. We already talked about it. If you didn't notice or you didn't pay attention, then I'm going to go back again just to show you. Where's the scale button? Is right here, and said it's CSS documentation says to different from a plain GTK button gets a scale style. And when I was clicking on GTK button description, you saw that we have all these crazy classes right here, image, text, and flat as well. So basically we set it. But now watch, if I'm going to set the image button class, I'm going to do it right now, and I'm going to say let me copy this part right here. So we have basically background magenta and color yellow. I'm going to change this time the color to yellow, and the background color to yellow, and the color to red, and you will see something. You see I just override the flat with the image button. So I'm not sure, let me run the flat after we set the image button. You see it's overridden again. So basically the last one take place of the first one. This, if you know something, I'm asking you now, if you know something about it, just let me know if and which one is the right one, or this, or maybe this classes applies to another widgets as well, because I'm not sure. Does one of those classes apply to another widget as well? If so, then we have again a problem, because we cannot change the background and the color just by calling image button class, because we are going to change all of them. I'm going to make a research on it later when I'm going to use another widgets, and I'm going to see if there are other widgets which they are using image buttons, or if there are some cases where we create two different widgets and use the same class, where we will have a problem. The same problem which we already noticed, we have it right here, and we had to access the scale pop-up class, which the documentation doesn't mention something about it. Okay, so basically this is what we did now. Let me see if we need something else. Yes, the background of the whole scale pop-up here, that we need to change it as well. And once that we change it, then we have everything. So basically I'm going to copy this part right here, I'm going to put it here, I'm going to remove the scale because it's not about the scale, it is only about the scale pop-up, and I'm going to say brown. I'm going to compile it and run it, and yes, now we have all these needed changes which we needed. Of course, that white border we can change it so that we don't have that ugly border. Now looks better, isn't it? So basically now we did completely managed to succeed the styling of this GTK scale button widget, isn't it? Okay, if you have questions, or if you know something which I don't, or if I made some mistake which I didn't notice or something like that, just let me know, leave a comment for me and for others, and we will know in the future to fix it. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.